Hey guys, I'm Kayla, the travel nurse, and today we're going to talk about contract extensions. So when you get offered an extension by the facility, you should take it as a compliment. That is huge for you. That means you are well liked, that means you are a productive worker, that means that they want you to stick around. So awesome for you. Let's talk about all the aspects that are involved in extending a contract. Traditionally, most contract extensions are for another 13 weeks. You as a traveler have a lot of say in how long you want to extend for. And this all just comes down to simple communications, and you only want to stay a specific amount of time. You just counter back. You say, yes, I'd love to accept that extension, but I can only stay for another 4 weeks or whatever availability you have. Most of the time, the facilities are happy to extend you for however long you are willing to stay because it is easier and more cost efficient for them to retain you than it is to start over with another traveler. Now, pay. Pay is a big thing with extensions. Just like I advocate in other videos, all you have to do is ask. If you want to stay and you are loving where you are, but you want to make more money, or maybe some of your fellow travelers are with other companies making more than you just need to communicate with your recruiter. You need to say, I would love to extend this contract, but I need to make X amount more dollars per week. Kind of overshoot for what you're looking for because you need to expect them to counter back at a lower pay package. But just keep in mind that all you have to do is ask. And again, the worst they're going to say is no, there's no wiggle room, we can't. And then you can make a determining decision from there. Do you stay at the same pay, knowing other people are making more than you, or do you leave knowing you can make more elsewhere? That's just a personal preference. So that leads into communication with your fellow travelers. So a lot of travelers don't have any issues disclosing how much they're bringing home every week. We like to make sure that we are not short selling ourselves. So we ask, what company are you with? How much do you make? Stuff like that. Because there are significant differences, as I've previously mentioned in other videos about pay packages and bill rates. So let's say that you work with one company and your fellow travelers are with another company and they are making, let's just use $500 a week for a nice even number difference. You just approach your recruiter and say, hey, this company over here is offering $500 more per week, and I would like for you to match that. Again, the worst they're going to say is no. The best they're going to say is yes. Some recruiters have asked for quotes from other companies, or they've asked for a pay stub from another traveler showing that much money. Whatever you can do to get the proof over to them to get you more money, just do it. If that's the biggest hoop you have to jump through, so be it. But again, communication is key here. I also want to mention that you should not feel obligated to extend a contract ever. If you feel a sense of loyalty to your facility or your company, that's great, that's awesome. That really says a lot about them and good for them. But don't feel obligated to extend if you're not getting what you need out of the extension. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, no is a complete sentence, so it is okay to just respectfully decline an extension if you're not getting what you need out of it or it's not lining up with your goals. That's okay. You won't burn any bridges. Nobody will take it personally. It's just the business. It is what it is. So you can take it as a compliment to yourself that they offered you the extension, but they won't be offended that you say no. That's okay. But speaking of pay, getting a pay raise on an extension isn't always typical. You would think that they would reward you for staying longer by compensating you for that. But if any of you guys follow the travel nursing subreddit, it is blowing up lately with issues with extensions and pay packages. So I don't know how well this video or any of my videos will age, but as of right now, at this moment in time, just know that a lot of contract extensions are being significantly cut in pay. I know a lot of travelers struggle with that. I know setting boundaries and having goals and sticking to your goals and really working to achieve those. I know at the end of the day, it's hard. Those are the risks that we take as travelers. Just remember, work for yourself, advocate for yourself, follow your goals and stick with them. And if an extension isn't lining up with your personal goals, then it's not right to extend, and that's fine. Now, one question I see getting asked a lot, which I think is important to address, and it's hard to answer, so I will do my best, bear with me. Can you extend with a different company? This is so difficult to answer. I mean, the real true answer is no, you shouldn't, and you really can't. There are special circumstances, of course, but here's what happens. Let's say you're with one company and everything is going well and they've offered you an extension, but you see that the job is listed with this other company, and let's say it's $1,000 a week difference. That's huge. That's so significant, right? So you send this quote from this other company over to your recruiter and you say, hey, this company is paying $1,000 more per week. Can you match that? And I'll extend. And let's say they say no. Let's say their bill rate is set. There's no wiggle room. They are a flat, hard no. Now you like this place, you want to extend, but you know that traveler coming in with that other company is making so much more than you for the same job, and that doesn't sit right with you. Can you go to that other company for the extension? No. I say this because that's how it should be, because there's this thing in recruiting called poaching, and it's kind of a huge no-no. So good companies don't poach travelers. They say, hey, we'd love to work with you for your future contracts. Good luck with, your extension. Unprofessional companies will say, yeah, we'll take over that extension for you. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. There's a possibility of burning a bridge with the facility because it's very complicated, and you will likely burn a bridge with your current company. So keep that in mind as well. And then there are a lot of bait and switch tactics out there, again, not used by the reputable companies. So just know that just because you see something quoted, they could always counter and say, oh, well, that was the crisis rate and now it's this. So don't be fooled into bailing on your company for another one that might not pan out. Anyway, I digress. You should not change companies for an extension. You can talk with your manager and you can decline the extension and start over with a full new company. So let's say that company that was offering you $1,000 more, you can communicate with them, get a pay package, get it all written down, get the quote, get everything, so everything's lined up in order. You can go to your manager and say, I would love to extend with you, but this company is offering me more money and I can't extend with them. So I would love to continue working for you under a new contract, under a new company. Again, this gets complicated. Your manager could just be like, oh gosh, I don't want to deal with this, like starting all the way over. Or they could just be like, I don't want to keep you on for more money. That happens too. So this is a big, big gamble that you take trying to bail on one company for another. If you're gonna do it, just do it carefully and just keep in the back of your mind that this might not work out and you will have shot yourself in the foot. And again, that's not to dissuade you from doing this. It's just not standard practice in travel. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, honestly. But if your manager's cool, they don't care, their budget's unlimited, whatever, and you say, and they like you, and you say, I really want to stay, but I cannot stay at this lower rate because it's just, it doesn't line up with what I need. That manager might be like, that's fine, no problem. Submit with the other one. We'll get the ball rolling. It's no biggie. It's literally a 50-50 gamble, you guys. So I want to say all that thoroughly because it happens, the situation will arise, and then you make a decision. But you do what's best for you always, always. And if that's too complicated, which it is, if you run too big of a risk of it not working out that way, I would say just either stay with the company you're at, hope that they can match that quote, or at least give you enough of a pay bump to make you feel satisfied, and that's okay. or you just respectfully decline and you move on to another contract with another company that pays you more money. And that's okay. You can always circle back to that facility. If you end on a good note, they will likely hire you back. I mean, that's fine. Make sure you always get your manager's contact info as well, and always communicate. If you do have to decline for any reason, the extension, but you know they like you and you've built a good rapport, you can always just say, hey, thanks so much for the extension. That really meant a lot for me. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out for me at this time, but I'd love to come back here. I mean, they want to hear that positive feedback. They want to know that you like them as well. And, you know, that goes a long way, that communication. And then one thing I want to add to this video that really doesn't have to do with extensions, it's just a good thing that you should try to implement for yourself. If you vibe with a company, manager likes you, everything's going good, whether you extend or not, before your contract ends, you need to approach the manager and ask them if they would be willing to write you a letter of recommendation, like on company letterhead. This can really set you above your competition. If you have recommendation letters from your previous managers, your recruiter can add that to your profile when they're submitting you for jobs. Little sprinkle onto your profile, set the bar above the competition, really give you a leg up when you're trying to get these jobs, because a good track record goes a long way. So that's just a little pro tip that I want to include in this video. That's it, guys. If you need a new company or recruiter, I have a list of reputable ones linked down below. If you would like some one-on-one consulting, I'm happy to help anytime. Just shoot me an email, and I will see you in the next video. Good luck and happy travels.